Hey gamers, what's going on? Kyle here with another episode of Game Time. Finally, the long-awaited Game Room tour. I've been promising this for a little while. My apologies, first of all. I kind of got the cell phone, so you're going to get a lot of shaking. Not the best quality that we've ever done, but I'll keep this pretty brief. It's a pretty small game room, but I like it. I think I got a pretty nice setup going. And yeah, like I said, it's kind of been a long time coming, so why don't we start off with some consoles right here? I'm going to do this here. We'll have up here sort of our boxes that we got. Here's our Fairchild Channel F, the very first system that you could use interchangeable cartridges with. There's, of course, the Black Vader Atari 2600. Most of these, by the way, I'm also kind of keeping in order that they've come out. So obviously this is the oldest, and it was Atari, something like that. Here's the Magnavox Odyssey 2. Some of the wires, some of these things are kind of attached to it, so kind of had to take that. The Intellivision Model 1 and Intellivision Model 2. Model 2 doesn't have the adapter for it, but you can kind of see, you got the attached controllers there. This is Coleco Gemini. This will be the next system review that I do. It will be the next video, so if you're kind of interested more about this system, definitely subscribe so you can check out the next video I will post. It's going to be a little bit of an overview on that. The mighty ColecoVision, definitely one of my new favorite retro systems. Absolutely love this thing. It's fantastic. I think I did a system overview of that as well, so check out the channel for the previous review over that. Here's the Atari 5200, which it's the 4-switcher, by the way, or in fact 4-switcher, but the 4-port Atari 5200. System works fine. I have a lot of great games for it. It works fine, except I can't find a single effing controller. Those do not work fine. One of the worst controllers ever made. Pair of NESs. I'm sure we're all familiar with this system. Obviously, now we're in the mid-'80s here. The Sega Master System. Love this system too, by the way. The Atari 7800. Kind of looks like the 5200 in many ways. Fun little system. This is backwards compatible too. I can also play Atari 2600 games. That's this bad boy up here. So, TurboGrafx 16, Sega Genesis Model 2 and 3. Don't have the original Model 1 yet, but probably will throw that into the collection here very soon. Yeah, the next couple systems I do want to get the original Genesis model. I want to get the Panasonic 3DO. That should be here pretty soon, as well as an original Japanese Famicom, which is the Japanese version of our NES. Kind of want to get one of those as well. Maybe, heck, let's throw in a Super Famicom. I think that could be pretty neat. I kind of cheated a little bit with this. This is a Neo Geo, but it's the Neo Geo X model. I did a system overview of that too. So it's not a real like AVS or the MVS Neo Geo. This is just the X model. So this is more recent. The game's already preloaded on there. So I kind of cheated just a little bit with that one. But if it was a real Neo Geo, that's where it would go. Down here we got the Super Nintendo, of course, Super NES. Got the Super Game Boy to go right along with it. The Atari Jaguar. Not a whole lot to say about this one. It's a fun system. The couple games that I do have for it, one right here, for example, Checkered Flag is so-so, but it had a lot of potential. Just never quite lived up to it. Speaking of never living up to the potential, here's the Sega Saturn. Here, of course, is, I'm in my own light, the PlayStation, Sony PlayStation Model 1 on the bottom, and the slimmer Model 2 on top, the slim PS1. Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, one of my favorite systems ever, Model 1, and of course the slimmer Model 2 on top. This Model 2 is very some. Look at that. That is tiny stuff there. Nintendo GameCube with the Game Boy Player adapter. Did just recently, probably in the last 2 or 3 videos, did a kind of an overview of that. So definitely, again, check out my other videos for a extensive review of that. Down here, the original Xbox. I always kind of, I give the Microsoft Xbox kind of a lot of slack. I'm not a big 360 fan nor an Xbox One. I'm just not really my cup of tea, but I really do like the original Xbox. That's a great system. Lots of great memories with that. The Nintendo Wii. Now we kind of, I think, let me finish here. The 360 did come up first. I do have the 360 over here. There's the original PS3 mount. I kind of have it tucked in the corner there as it doesn't work. So, some more boxes down here. I'll get to the handhelds here in just a few minutes. So, a few boxes over there. Like I said, I had some boxes on top. So, let's take a look at the games here real quick. My boxed and television games. Got a nice little collection there. Some of them I have duplicates. Three advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Gotta have at least 3 of those. So, if anyone's interested in maybe a complete and boxed Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, or I think, Astro Smash, shoot me a comment or leave me a message on Twitter, and we'll see what we can do. Here's boxed Odyssey 2 games. Technically, these should be further up because they're older, but I just, an entire shelf of Intellivision games, and I only have just a handful of these. I have quite a few of these loose as well. We'll get to here, and again, just a moment. So those are the boxed Odyssey 2 games. Mega Man figure. Boxed Sega Master System games, as well as a loose one there. There's a homebrew game, Games31. Shout out to him. Great channel. Definitely a big inspiration for this channel. There's a cute little Samus, Zero Suit Samus right there. And again, it's kind of out of order, but we have an entire shelf of NES games. Here's a few boxed NES games. Not many, but I do have a complete and boxed DuckTales 2, so you can be a little bit jealous of that. Another Samus there. Pretty big Metroid fan. Here's the loose NES games. Of course, I have the Zelda. I have Mario Brothers 3. They're on display because one of those, I'm not sure which one, but one of those is the very first video game I ever owned. So, tons of memories with that. So there's kind of the rest there. Got some good stuff. And working on the second row. Hopefully we can fill up the second row here in due time. This is kind of a unique one. I don't know. Some people probably have seen this. It's kind of an off-brand Nintendo one, but it's called Crazy Creatures. And look at that. That's kind of a pretty weird NES card. Kind of black. There's a little groove in there. Pretty weird. So, thought that's kind of worth showing off. Little Mario 2 figure there climbing up the vine. Anyway, let's move on here real quick. We got our Sega Genesis collection of cards. There's a Knuckles there. Sorry, Sonic, but Knuckles was always the best Sonic character in my opinion. I'm going to cut down here just real quick. There's some boxed Sega games. I know a place where I can actually get quite a few more boxed Genesis games, so I might check those out in the near future. Here's our Super Nintendo collection. Not very big, but it's of the games that I do have there are really good. So, sitting right here are the TurboGrafx 16 Hue cards. Just a few of those, have about 10 or so. A couple of them without the packages are in there. So, another Jaguar game, Cybermorph. So we've seen the Genesis games. Here's the PlayStation 1 library. I thought I had more, but it's just a little bit of those. And on top is the N64 library. I got to get... there's a good site on eBay where I can go and get some stickers or labels to put on those. So obviously the 2 gold ones there is the Zelda games. So until then, they're just markered off. There's a link there. There's the little transfer pack for the Game Boy Color games. Neo Geo Mega Pack 1. Let's move down to Nintendo GameCube games. I kind of have them set up like that. I made a boo-boo when I put this shelf up that I couldn't actually get the games to go back in there, so I had to lay them down. I was about to redo, that just for those games. I can just lay them down. There's a Boo character there. Kind of like Boo. Oh, by the way, Sega Saturn games. I have a few more I'll show you here in just a second, but those are complete and box ones. Here's original, Majora's Mask in the box. Original Xbox games. Kind of a big fan of the original Xbox, like I said. Then we kind of branch off into PS2 here a little bit with the Grand Theft Auto games, which brings us down here to the rest of our PS2 games. One of my bigger libraries, NES, PS2, and probably the Atari 2600 are my biggest libraries. Oh, original Game Boy as well. Tons of Game Boy cartridges. So that's that. Down here, I have to move this out of the way. We'll get to that here after this tour. 360 games. Not a lot, but, and a few Wii games right over here. So, Metal Gear Solid collection down there, Scarface Special Edition, and Need for Speed collection there. Pretty big Scarface fan. Here, this is a movable one. Hopefully I can fill this up. My PS1 games used to be in there, but these are Sega Dreamcast games, and a couple of these are Sega Saturn games. So hopefully we can fill those up, get some pretty good deals going. PS3 games down here next to my stereo. So got a nice little collection here. A couple more like special editions, Uncharted, GTA 4, etc. aren't part of the collection. If I go up here, there's my PS4 library. Still working on it. Speaking of PS4, there's that. And here's where we get to the newer systems. So their PS3 kind of hooked up. I was playing that not too long ago. That's kind of why all the cords and controllers are there. Nintendo Wii U and Xbox 360 right there. Let's move up to some older games. Oh, by the way, there's all the flashback systems there. Nice little Mario Brothers collection, or not collection, but a display. Here's the Atari 2600 collection. Let's go right down there. Adventure, great game. Some of those I had to make my own end labels for. Ghost Matter, future system or future game review of that coming up. We're just going to play through that game. Fantastic game that I don't think a lot of people have heard of, so that'll be coming up. Some manuals and instruction booklets for there's 5200. I think most of these are 5200. I think there's some 7800 ones there as well. Fun little Atari pen. Here's some loose Magnavox Odyssey 2 games. That's what they look like. Got the fun little handle. Here's more Intellivision games. Right there, look at that, another Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Never even played original Dungeons & Dragons board game. Here's the 5200 games. These were kind of a little tricky. They're back there, probably about just over a dozen or so games than these with actual labels I just put right here. Oh, and I'm knocking down my Intellivision games. I'll get back to them anyway. ColecoVision as well as 7800 games. There's some of the manuals and stuff for the Atari 7800. So, just random in-box games right there. You know, a couple Atari games, got a couple Super Nintendo in-box games. Not a whole lot. I'm not a huge in-box collector, but if they're just a little bit more, you know, a few bucks or $10, $15 more than just the original loose cartridges, I'll go for it. As long as it's not a major bump up. Here's some third-party systems down here, like the Retro Duo Portable. That's the Retro Trio, and got some fun things there. So that's kind of a fun setup. Here's the Wii U collection. Again, kind of like the PS4. It's still growing. Over here is a spare TV. I can move. And there's all my kind of Sega-themed controllers. There's the Dreamcast one, obviously. Genesis in there. And this is kind of handy dandy. I got kind of did it a little bit differently here. Got controllers in there. Those are Xbox and PlayStation controllers. Underneath that, sorry, it's going to be a little dark, are my Nintendo controllers. So got some Wii U cords there, but GameCube, you know, Super Nintendo. And I like to keep them in kind of in plastic bags, like so. Kind of keeps them dust-free. You know, here's a Super Nintendo kind of falling out of the plastic bag, but I feel that kind of helps. There's a 64 controller there in the background. A couple bags I threw on top. And below, right here in the total darkness, I'll get some better lighting here, is the my Atari collection. So got some joysticks for Atari games. There's a Jaguar controller, as well as some other extra systems too, like a TurboGrafx controller in there and whatnot. So that Coleco Gemini controller in there as well. So, and this whole thing can actually be pulled out, so I can, you know, if need be, it's on wheels, so it can roll out pretty quickly. So I can just put it right here, maybe, and have some controllers. So I do keep my TV and sound bar folded up there, but that's kind of that. It's a Sony Bravia TV, 32-inch. Works pretty nice. A little sound bar on it as well. Great setup. I actually love that. So, and the last part is our handheld tour. Oh, I do have my Game Boy games right here. They don't have a home just yet. I'm probably going to put them here in that white cabinet. But here's our Game Boy collection. We got connector cord right there. A little Game Shark. You can see lots of great Game Boy games. A few of my favorites I keep still in their original cases. You know, here's Mario Land. So, etc., Game Boy Color games. Paperboy, here's, you know, Pong, yay. And Game Boy Color / original Game Boy games. And the Game Boy Advance games right here along the sides, like so. So, Ice Climber there. Final Fantasy. So we got the Game Boy Advance games lined up along the side. Almost out of space for that, so, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so last part of the tour, our boxed Game Boy games. Here's some Atari Lynx original boxes. These are all instruction manuals for Game Boy games. There's the Lynx itself. Some DS games. Not a whole lot, but there's Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance SP. Here's our PSP collection. And Vita. Not a huge PSP collection, but I'll have a lot of those digital games on here too. So, handheld Sega Genesis. Doesn't actually play cartridges, but the game's already built right in. There's the DS Lite model. There's the PSP 1000 and 3000 model, sort of slimmer. Nintendo 2DS. 3DS coming soon. They got the new Nintendo 3DS, so I'm probably going to invest in one of those. Any video game soundtrack music is right here. And, of course, PlayStation Vita on the floor. So I got that all lined up. So, but yeah, that's yeah. And here's me. So yeah, this is kind of the whole setup. Nothing too fancy, but and plenty of space. I can bring some people in. The bed itself can kind of be propped up against the wall, so I can use it as a bench as well because it has a little wooden bench underneath it. So yeah, here's the whole setup. So thank you everybody for watching. Here it is. And yeah, I can't think of anything else to say, so thanks for liking the video if you haven't. Share with friends, subscribe, I don't know. And yeah, Glico Gemini System Review is next, as well as maybe some game reviews of some great older games, kind of like the Ghost Manor on the Atari 2600. That will be coming soon as well. So that's everything, man, and we'll end with Mario. Nice little Mario display there, so... Everybody take care and happy gaming. Thanks for watching, everybody. Much appreciated. We'll see you in the next video.